Welcome to this course on Defense in Depth in Cybersecurity. You are entering a subject that sits at the very core of how modern digital systems are protected, trusted, and sustained. In an era where data drives decisions, services, and innovation, the ability to secure digital environments is no longer a technical concern alone. It is a strategic and institutional responsibility. Today's organizations operate in a constantly exposed digital landscape, where cyber threats are not hypothetical risks, but ongoing realities. Attacks are becoming more targeted, more persistent, and more damaging. In this environment, traditional single-layer security approaches are no longer sufficient. What is required is a deeper, structured, and resilient way of thinking about security. This course is designed to guide you through that way of thinking. We will examine how layered security models protect systems not by relying on perfection, but by anticipating failure and managing risk intelligently. Throughout this course, you will develop a clear understanding of why defense in depth has become a foundational principle in cybersecurity, and how it is applied in real-world environments. As we progress, each section of this course will build upon the previous one, gradually moving from context and importance to principles, architecture, implementation, and challenges. By the end of this course, you will not only understand defense in depth conceptually, but also be equipped to reason about security decisions with clarity, confidence, and professional maturity. Let us begin this journey by first understanding the environment in which defense in depth operates.
Let us begin by understanding the importance of defense in depth. Cyber threats today are complex, persistent, and evolving rapidly. Attackers exploit not just technical weaknesses, but human errors and procedural gaps as well. Relying on a single control, such as a firewall or antivirus software, is inadequate. One failure can compromise an entire system. Defense in depth addresses this risk by establishing multiple overlapping layers of security. These layers improve both prevention and detection. If one control misses a threat, another may catch it. For example, malware that bypasses endpoint defenses can be identified by network traffic monitoring or behavioral analytics. This redundancy ensures that attacks are more likely to be detected early, reducing potential damage. The approach also increases organizational resilience. In cases where one layer is compromised, others continue to function, maintaining security and operational continuity. This resilience is crucial for critical infrastructure, financial systems, and sensitive data repositories, where downtime or breaches can have severe consequences. Defense in depth also supports regulatory compliance. Many cybersecurity standards and frameworks require multiple controls, monitoring, and documented response processes. Implementing layered security helps organizations meet these requirements, demonstrating a structured and responsible approach to protecting data and systems. Additionally, defense in depth encourages a holistic mindset. Security is not isolated to a single team or tool. It encompasses people, processes, and technology. Everyone in the organization plays a role, from end users following best practices to IT teams managing firewalls, endpoints, and access controls. By combining proactive defenses, redundancy, and comprehensive monitoring, organizations reduce risk while increasing confidence in their systems. Defense in depth ensures attackers cannot exploit a single weakness to gain full control, buying critical time for detection and response. Finally, the principle fosters continuous improvement. Security measures are evaluated, updated, and refined over time, to address emerging threats. This dynamic approach is essential in an era where cyber attacks evolve daily and organizations must remain one step ahead. Now that we clearly understand why defense in depth is important, we can move deeper into the principles that make this approach effective. These principles act as the foundation upon which layered security is designed, implemented, and maintained. The first principle is layering. Security controls must exist at multiple levels rather than being concentrated in a single point. Each layer is designed to address specific types of threats. When layered correctly, security becomes distributed, reducing the likelihood that one failure will compromise the entire system. The second principle is diversity of controls. Different security mechanisms protect against different attack techniques. By combining varied technologies and methods, organizations reduce the risk that a single vulnerability or exploit can defeat all defenses simultaneously. Redundancy is another essential principle. Redundant controls ensure continuity of protection. If one control fails due to misconfiguration, human error, or technical limitation, another control remains active to reduce exposure and limit damage. Comprehensive coverage is equally important. Defense in depth must address the full security lifecycle, including prevention, detection, response, and recovery. Effective security does not stop at blocking attacks. It includes rapid detection, structured response, and reliable recovery. Integration of people, processes, and technology is a defining principle. Policies establish expectations, training improves awareness, and technology enforces rules. Without alignment between these elements, even advanced technical controls can fail. Finally, continuous evaluation ensures effectiveness over time. Threats evolve, systems change, and new vulnerabilities emerge. Regular assessment and improvement are necessary to maintain strong layered defenses. With these principles established, we can now translate them into tangible defensive layers used in real world environments. Applying these principles results in clearly defined layers of defense, each contributing to overall security. The first layer is physical security, which protects facilities, servers, and infrastructure from unauthorized physical access, tampering, or damage. The next layer is network security. This layer controls how data flows within and outside the organization. Firewalls, segmentation, and traffic monitoring restrict unauthorized access and reduce the attack surface. Endpoint security focuses on devices such as laptops, desktops, and mobile devices. These endpoints are frequent attack targets and must be continuously protected against malware, unauthorized software, and configuration weaknesses. Application security addresses risks introduced by software, secure development practices, regular updates, and vulnerability testing reduce the likelihood that applications become entry points for attackers. Identity and access management ensures that only authorized users can access systems and data. Authentication mechanisms, access controls, and privilege management limit misuse and reduce the impact of compromised credentials. Data security protects information itself. Encryption, secure storage, and controlled access ensure that even if systems are breached, sensitive data remains protected and unusable to attackers. The final layer is monitoring and response. Continuous visibility across all layers enables early detection, rapid response, and effective containment of incidents. Understanding these layers prepares us to examine how Defense in depth can be implemented in practice. Effective implementation begins with understanding organizational assets and risks, identifying critical systems, sensitive data, and potential threat scenarios allows security controls to be prioritized appropriately. Policies and governance frameworks define how security is enforced. These policies establish acceptable use, access requirements, and response procedures, ensuring consistency across the organization. Training and awareness programs enable employees to recognize threats and follow security practices. Human awareness strengthens technical controls and reduces preventable incidents. Technical controls are then deployed across all layers. These controls must complement one another rather than operate independently. Integration ensures that gaps are minimized. Regular testing validates effectiveness. Vulnerability assessments, simulated attacks, and audits identify weaknesses before they can be exploited. Continuous monitoring ensures visibility into system behavior. Alerts and analysis support timely detection and response. Implementation is not a one-time activity. Defense in depth evolves continuously as technologies, threats, and organizational requirements change. This naturally leads to a discussion of the challenges associated with maintaining layered security. Despite its effectiveness, defense in depth introduces complexity. Managing multiple layers requires coordination, expertise, and clear responsibility. Cost is another challenge. Organizations must invest in tools, training, and maintenance while ensuring that resources are allocated efficiently. Operational overhead can increase as controls are added. Without proper design, security may interfere with usability and productivity. Automation supports scalability, but it cannot replace human judgment. Skilled professionals remain essential for decision making and oversight. Even with these challenges, defense in depth remains the most reliable cybersecurity strategy. Its layered nature limits impact, improves resilience, and increases detection opportunities. In conclusion, defense in depth represents a disciplined and realistic approach to security. By combining strategy, technology, and human awareness, organizations can protect critical assets and operate confidently in a complex digital environment. As we conclude today's lecture, it is important to emphasize that defense in depth is not merely a technical framework, but a strategic mindset for managing security in complex digital environments. By understanding its principles, layers, and implementation challenges, we build a foundation for designing resilient and trustworthy systems. I encourage you to reflect on today's discussion and consider how these concepts apply to your own professional or academic contexts. This understanding will serve as a critical base for more advanced topics ahead. Please stay connected and join me in the next lecture, where we will examine another highly important subject that builds directly on today's session. The upcoming discussion will be essential for deepening your understanding and strengthening your overall perspective. Thank you for your attention.